They tell us disclosure is coming, that the government is finally ready to tell us that we're not alone. But here's the secret they won't tell you at the podium. They're not revealing the truth to save us, to invite us up with our space brothers. They're doing it because they finally realize that we humans were never the ones in charge, and they can no longer maintain the narrative. My name is Edge, and follow me as we reveal the true reason for disclosure and why now.
Today, we confirm the existence of non-human intelligence.
The government is finally talking, but it isn't because they've had a sudden change of heart. They're not pulling back the curtain to enlighten us. They're doing it because the wall has already collapsed. In the age of global, instantaneous information, the secret is no longer manageable. They are now opting for controlled disclosure because the alternative, a chaotic, unguided realization by the public, would render them entirely obsolete.
I need help, it's crazy
They
here!
are trying to save their own relevance while the world begins to understand its true place in the food chain. But here is the uncomfortable truth behind the official briefings. The security paradox. The state exists to guarantee our safety. Yet, by admitting these entities exist, they simultaneously admit that they have absolutely no way to stop them. We are not being protected, we are being managed, like a population of subjects that doesn't know their own status. I can't tell you the exact day, but I do remember just how hot it was that night. My wife and I were driving home July about 5 years ago on Highway 101 when what I thought I was looking at re-entry debris turned out to be something completely different. It was about 9:15 or 9:30 at night, and that means here in the Pacific Northwest the sun had just set and the sky was starting to turn that greenish blue color. That night, there wasn't a single cloud in the sky. I mean, it was clear. And I suspect about 10, maybe 11 miles ahead of us, up in the sky, I saw what I thought was the beginnings of re-entry debris. At first, it was a bit faded. It started to get brighter, and then got brighter. That's not the weirdest thing. As it was getting brighter, there was a light that started to grow behind it. This light, in contrast to the dark sky, started to look like a hole. And as the hole got bigger and bigger, you could see through this hole. And the craziest thing is you could see sunshine on the other side of the hole. This side, the sky was a dark, almost blue-green, like, you know, right before it gets dark. On the other side, it looked like it was noonday, bright as heck, that bright sky blue. And then that hole started to close back up. At this point, my wife and I are getting close to the turn that we use to turn up to get to our house and turn off of the highway. While we were stopped at the light, this rear entry debris seemed to be all connected and looked as though now that it was all one piece. And as it looked as though it was one piece, it started to shift. And it started to look like it was now pointed at us. And it was just the most bizarre thing. So the light turns green and we pull into the Chevron parking lot as fast as we can. And we point the car back in the same direction. Then we look back through the windshield, try to find it again, and we can't find it. We both simultaneously get out of the car. We look around, don't see anything, and then we both look up. And right above us is this huge craft. This thing has to be 3 football fields long, 1,000 feet. This thing is ginormous. It's pill-shaped. It's cylindrical with round edges, but you can't see it. It's invisible. The reason why we know the shape is because it also looks like it has lava dripping all over it, dripping in all different directions, dripping down, dripping up, dripping from side to side. And it looks like it just wants to drip onto the ground and onto us, but nothing like falls away from the ship. It just is moving like around the ship. This ship is just gliding oh so slowly, but quiet. There was a sound. It wasn't 100% silent. You could hear an electric hum coming from it, but it wasn't very loud. It was a very quiet hum. Another thing, this thing was less than 500 feet above the ground. This thing was so close to us. And as it just slid across the sky right above us, it passed over the Chevron gas station. And as it did so, it did the most craziest thing. Like I said, there were 0 clouds in the sky, and this thing went and disappeared. It looked like it went straight into a bank of clouds and just put on its cloaking device and just disappeared. That sighting wasn't just a moment of awe. It was a breach of our sovereignty. So profound, it should have triggered global alarm. Instead, it, along with all the other mounting evidence, the crop circles, and the endless reports of sightings, are met with silence. That silence is the defining feature of this era. It is the sound of an authority that knows it's powerless. When I look at the reality of the situation, the visitors don't see us as peers. We are biological assets. We are variables in a long-term experiment. Our resources to be harvested when the time is right. We look at them with curiosity, but we should be looking at them with the same primal dread that an animal feels when it realizes it's been wandered into the sight of a predator. I have a fear of extraterrestrials. I've never shared this story with anyone before on camera, and I've shared it only with a few really close friends of mine. I was growing up, and I was about 4 years old, maybe slightly younger, and we were living in Moscow, Idaho. And my mom and dad and my newly born sister were living in the Indian Hills apartment complex, which is kind of a townhouse. And my bedroom was on the bottom floor, and their bedrooms were on the top floor. I don't remember much about the night until I was already in bed. That night seemed pretty normal. I went to bed, I'd fallen asleep, and that's when things went crazy. My bedroom had a window situated right above my head. And then there was a closet towards the feet of my bed. And my bed was hugging the wall on my right side. And I was woken up. I just woke up right out of my dream. I knew something was wrong. But the moment I woke up, everything was normal at first. Then my room went red and I was scared. I froze. And the scariest thing was on my closet door was the shadow of a tall, what I would now describe, gray alien. The first thing I noticed, because I was so young, was that I didn't have my teddy bear, and that my teddy bear was right there by my knees. And the only thought that was going through my mind was, if I just had my teddy bear, everything was going to be okay. But my teddy bear seemed like it was so far away. But I had to get it. So I built up the courage to grab the teddy bear. And as soon as I started to move, the shadow moved too. And it like looked down at like where I was laying, and I knew this was I had to do it now. So I reached for my teddy bear. Boom. I had my teddy bear. The red light disappeared. I was alone. It must have been over. But I don't remember anything else. I just remember the next morning waking up. Pretty crazy. Pretty creepy. Told my mom, told my family. Aliens scare me. The government isn't preparing us for scientific discovery. They aren't preparing us for a radio signal from a distant star or a benign meeting of the minds. They are preparing us for the inevitable, a global, irreversible awakening of the absolute truth. These beings aren't just possible, they're already here, or they're on their way. And the timeline for keeping that secret has finally run out. We've spent decades looking at the sky, waiting for a sign. But the sign was never meant for us. The reality is, we are living on a planet that belongs to a different order. And for the first time in human history, the gatekeepers can no longer hold the line. They are drip feeding us this information to keep the panic from boiling over. But make no mistake, the official disclosure is nothing more than a controlled collapse of our reality. When that final threshold is crossed, when the last bit of plausible deniability is stripped away, we will be forced to look at our world through an entirely different lens. We will see the woods, the skies, and even our own backyards, not as a sanctuary, but as the perimeter of our cages. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking to the end and watching all the way through. We have no clue what the government's thinking or why they do anything, let alone an extraterrestrial race. That being said, you think about it, the math doesn't really add up that there'd be too many positive outcomes. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Until next time, keep chasing the unknown.